Sziasztok! Zazok vagyok, folytatom tovább a Cat Rain című játékot. Oké. Túl vagyunk egy bonyolult feladaton, amire mondtam, hogy nem jöttem rá, tehát utána kellett néznem. Ugye a telefonbeszélgetés, üzenetrögzítő beszélgetés szerkesztéséről volt szó, vagy van szó. Oké, no. Kis szünet után várjuk, hogy szedjem össze magam. Valószínűleg, hogy beszélgetni kell Ailey-nel.
Hey, E, got a sec?
Sure thing, Kathy. What's up?
Igen. Oké.
Any ideas about what happened to my grandfather in 81?
Beats me. Maybe he found what he was looking for. Or it found him.
Ugye telefonon
Did you just
beszéltünk
quote a
vele.
tagline from one of those cheesy horror novels?
Maybe.
Oké.
I wonder what was so
Más a
special about
szöveg.
Lily Myers. Well, besides her being a talented artist who drowned herself in a lake.
I bet there's some secret about her art. Let's hope Charles Wade has some answers.
Oké.
What do you think of this cocky person?
Well, the nickname
Nem tudom, valami
makes me think of,
beképzelt.
you know,
Tehát jelent.
parts.
Hát,
And you call
meg
yourself a
jelenthet ezt is.
Christian.
Oké. De majd ugye lesz majd utalás erre, hogy mit jelent.
So, what's your take on this Charles Wade?
I'm not sure. He sounded like a super nice guy on that tape, but media says that he's a ruthless businessman.
The tape is over 2 decades old. Maybe he's changed.
Either that or he is very different in his private life. Hard to know without actually
Hát meg a
seeing
gazdagság is megváltoztathatta. Oké. Na, kíváncsi leszek arra, hogy ebben a részben elérem-e azt a pontot. Basszus, nagyon sok feladatunk van.
What do you think of Lily Myers' art?
Még.
I actually looked her up this morning, and I couldn't find any records of her being recognized as an artist.
Yeah, I doubt there was ever a chance for that to happen. Wade bought everything shortly after she died. I only got a chance to see this one picture. Wasn't all that bad, but nothing breathtaking.
Well, maybe there's more to her art than meets the eye. Something Wade knew, and we're missing.
Yeah, maybe.
Jó. Oké. Na, ezt
Hey,
mutassuk
E,
meg.
check this out.
Wow, they're hypnotic. Looks like a will-o'-the-wisp. You know, the spirit of the forest.
Now that's
Spirit
just
of the
silly. I mean,
Forest.
there has to be a more
Én
reasonable
hirtelen amúgy
explanation
azt
for
hittem,
that.
hogy a Evil Deadre
Hey, there's
utal,
nothing silly
de
about
nem,
forest
tehát
spirits.
angolul
You should talk to Meadow, my
ugye a
wicked friend.
cím annak a
She's
filmnek
really
Evil
opened my
Dead.
eyes about these sort of things.
Nálunk viszont erdőszelleme volt, ha jól emlékszem. Nagyon régi film. Nagyon régi film. Szerintem az inkább már 80-as évek volt. Oké. Jaj, ez. Jó.
Isn't
Legyen
that
ez.
the same Meadow who had an intimate relationship with a tree outside her dorm?
Oh, come on. That was just a phase.
Szerintem elég humoros.
Trust me, I've been through every phase in the book. That definitely isn't one of them.
Oké. Érdekes emberekkel áll kapcsolatban ez a Aileen.
What do you think about this flower?
Vagy ez?
It's beautiful. What kind of flower is it?
No idea.
Szerintem...
That's what I'm trying to find out.
I got a botany book around here somewhere. I could look it up later.
Sure, that would be great, E. Thanks.
Anytime.
És ez a később, ha jól tudom, akkor most lesz. Hát legalábbis nem azonnal most.
Dave really came through for me. The software on this thing is amazing.
Yeah, he's a real whiz.
I don't need to show her that.
Nem, oké.
I found this old picture of Grandpa at my grandparents' place.
That's nice. He looks really happy there.
Yep. I wonder what made him leave the Air Force.
He was in a war, you know. That kind of thing tends to scar people for life.
I suppose.
Oké.
I don't need to show her that.
Oké.
I don't need to show.
Oké.
Have
Oh.
a look at this brochure, E.
Yeah, what about it?
Notice
Jaj,
anything
eszembe
out of the
jutott.
ordinary?
Yeah. The logo looks a bit unusual. with the
Eszembe
three
jutott,
orb
igen.
things. Normally the Holy Trinity is symbolized by 3 overlapping circles, or a triangle-shaped knot. This is different from that.
Huh. Interesting.
Oké, ezt nem,
don't
talán
need to show
ez,
her that.
oké, semmi,
Look
várjatok.
what I got last week, E.
Oh!
Wow, is that thing even... you know, legal?
I have no idea.
Amúgy szerintem igen,
really
nem?
worry about you, Kathy.
Well, your days of worrying are over. We're protected by 100,000 volts now.
Oh, brother.
Jól van.
I should get back to the investigation.
Okie dokie.
Oké, és akkor várjatok, nekem itt valamit.
A printed picture of the strange smoky lights. It appears to have been taken somewhere in Conwell Woods. Now that I look at them,
jó,
they remind me of something I picked up yesterday.
Eszembe jutott valami. Na várjatok, azt nem tudom, hogy kell ezt megnézni. Tehát, hogy elég ezt is...
It's the brochure that
így.
priest gave me at the funeral. The logo, there's also an address
Ezt
at the bottom.
skippelem.
That logo at the...
Oké. Na akkor szerintem várjatok, így kell, hogy kombinál, és így.
Wow, the church logo looks pretty similar to the smoky
Fú,
lights.
basszus, ja.
I might have to visit them after all.
Ez az.
Things are shaping up. I'm starting to get some good leads on the picture of the three lights.
Ja, ez sem volt egyszerű, de láttátok, hogy ugye kaptuk a infokat róla. Csak mire erre rájöttem, hát ennyi, próbálkozni kell. Megvizsgálni, megnézni, gondolat, és kombinál.
I know exactly where to start.
Good. I'm gonna get some food now before I pass out.
Okie dokie, I'll grab my books and get
Tudom, hogy
cracking.
szerintem most megkapjuk nála az új helyszínt. Tényleg úgy emlékszem.
Hey.
Hey!
So, any progress with the search?
Yeah, I was able to identify that flower. It's called the red scythe, or Rosea falcus. I discovered that there was a small nature reserve near Conwell Springs, which was established in '89. The red scythe is on their list of endangered plants.
89?
I made a photocopy of the botany book page in case
Bőven
you want
utána
it later.
volt.
That's something. I should go check it out. Maybe I
Ugye
can narrow
81-ben
down the
volt a
place where that
baleset.
picture was taken. And, good work, Eileen.
Happy to help. So what?
Oh,
hang on. I'll go get that.
igen.
Okie dokie.
Igen. Megjött a telefonunk.
Hello?
This is Erica Wade calling for Kathy Rain.
Speaking.
Miss Rain, this is terribly awkward. I realize now how rude I was before. I wanted to apologize and ask if there is anything I can do.
Elfogadjuk, mindig elfogadom.
Apology accepted. You can start by answering a few questions.
Very well.
Oké.
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather that night in '81?
Not really, no. But what I do know is how it destroyed Father.
It did?
Oh, yes. The two of them were great friends once. And when Joseph was hurt, they hadn't been talking for some time. Father always hoped they would be able to reconnect one day. They kept putting it off, believing they had time. But in the end, it never happened.
So, what were things like back when they were still good friends?
Oh, they were like peas in a pod. Always sharing their war stories and laughing together. In a way, Joseph became the uncle I never had. He was around a lot when Father went out on business trips. Later on, I even met you a few times, when you were just a baby.
I don't remember any of that.
Oh, no matter, you were so little then.
Erica, I have to ask, why were you so defensive on the phone earlier when I tried to reach out?
Oh, I don't know, Kathy. Our families haven't been in touch for a long time. I don't remember exactly when it happened, but we all started drifting apart. My guess is that it had to do with Father's growing wealth. Friendship needs common ground, and we started living in different worlds. What happened to your grandfather was the final nail in the coffin. Father just couldn't bear seeing him like that, neither alive nor dead.
Okay.
What do you know about Lily Myers?
She was a young artist who lived somewhere in Conwell Springs. Killed herself, if I recall correctly. Dreadful thing. But other than that, not much. We never knew the family.
Nem is emlékszem, hogy nála lesz valami olyan nagyon érdekes info. Talán majd ugye a saját apjáról
Do you
tud
recognize the
mondani
nickname Cocky?
érdekességet.
It may be an Air Force call sign.
I can't say that I do. Father had many friends in the Air Force, but no one I can recall by that name.
What can you tell me about Mr. Wade?
My father is a great man. He has so many ideas, so much left to realize, which makes it hurt so much more to see him like this.
See him like what?
The illness and everything, of course.
Right. Yeah, it must be hard.
Oh, yes, indeed. I wish he wouldn't be so stubborn with his treatment. He could go to any state-of-the-art hospital, but insists on being treated in that backwater clinic in Conwell Springs.
The community clinic in the middle of town?
Yes. It's like he's given up and is just waiting for the inevitable to happen.
Okay.
What do you know about Lily Meyer's art?
Oh, that little girl had a twisted mind, let me tell you that. Oh, my father used to have a few pieces of hers in his collection. Horrible things. I couldn't understand why he ever decided to procure them in the first place.
You say used to have. Did he get rid of the paintings?
Oh, either that or he put them in storage somewhere. I haven't seen them for years.
Okay.
I never bothered to ask him why. Glad to be rid of them, quite frankly.
Okay.
Do you know anything about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
It's the one and only church in Conwell Springs. I was baptized there, and I married my husband there.
Anything out of the ordinary about them?
Oh, not really. They seem like a typical church to me.
Oké. Ugye telefon beszélgetünk vele, tehát neki nem tudunk mit megmutatni.
Okay, that's all I needed.
Very well. Feel free to call back
Ja,
if you have any more
tehát a apját meg kell keresnünk.
All right. Wade is in Conwell Springs. He's being treated in the clinic.
Na ott lesz
That
még
was
egy olyan
Erica
dolog,
Wade.
aminek utána kellett
Her father
néznem.
is being treated at the clinic in Conwell Springs.
Being treated? He's sick?
Looks that way. Small miracle they managed to keep it out of the press.
Yeah, I suppose you're returning to talk to him?
It'll have to be tomorrow. It's quite late for that now.
I suppose. Scrabble?
Oh,
Basszus.
you're so on. I will crush you.
Hát ez is egy 1,5 órás rész lesz, majd meglátom. Nagyjából ugye emlékszem rá, hogy... Na, benézzük csak.
Turning your pawn into a queen, is that the plan, buddy boy? You know me, I'm always playing the long game, old friend. That may be, but you're running out of pieces. First you lost your queen, then your knight. All that matters is the king. Illusional as always. The king is dead. Long live the king. Check.
Látjátok? Eddig mindig bambultam, múltkor is. De nem igazán tudtunk ott volna szerintem mit csinálni.
Good morning, sunshine.
Please tell me I
Jó
dreamt
álmai
all those
vannak.
Scrabble losses last night.
3 times in a row.
Rub it in, why don't you? I'll just go strangle myself now.
Oh, you. Don't be a sore loser. So what's the plan today?
Mr. Wade is the plan. I'll head for the clinic right away. While I'm at it, I'm gonna check out the church and the nature reserve.
Okie dokie. What can I do to help?
Why don't you continue looking into the lights? I have a feeling they're the key to solving all of this. You could also look up the history of Conwell Springs in general, see if anything unusual has been going on.
I'll get right on it.
Great. Thanks, E.
Oh, by the way, don't forget to check out the page I gave you about the red scythe. It's a pretty interesting flower.
Right. Yeah.
Oké, kezdjük is akkor azzal.
It's a photocopy of a book page with information about the red scythe flower. Here's an interesting segment. Another interesting trait of the red scythe is the smell, which is familiar to that of a pepper.
Kelleni fog ez az
The
info.
pollen of the plant has also been known to cause hallucinations in concentrated amounts. Native American tribes harvested and smoked the plant for that reason, but the flower never caught on as a modern recreational drug due to the difficulty of growing it.
Vagyis drágább, mint a fű. Oké, várjatok.
Eileen gave me this. Might contain useful information if I come across a specimen.
Ezt...
Ugh, I feel strange just...
igen. Meg ugye el is olvastuk. Új info így ide nem került. Váltok, azért még beszéljünk Aylennel.
Hey, E, got a sec?
Sure thing, Kathy. What's up?
Igen. Van egy ilyen
What's your opinion on the Church of the Holy Trinity?
They seem like an okay bunch to me. Just your regular old Christians. My kind of crowd.
That's just it. They seem a bit too normal. And there's that logo, too.
It could just be a coincidence, Kathy. The Holy Trinity is typically portrayed as a triangle.
I don't believe in coincidences, E. I believe in action and reaction.
Gee, you sound like a starship captain. Captain Rain of the USS Dignity. Here to save the galaxy.
Ez mi a franc Dignity? USS Dignity. Mindjárt beírom, pillanat. Mert ez nem tudom mire utalhatnak. USS Dignity. Sok S betűt írtam. Star Trek. Nem igazán talált semmit. Pillanat?
What's your... They seem like... That's just it. It could just be a coincidence.
I don't believe in...
Gee, you sound like a
Pedig jól
starship
írtam
captain.
be.
Captain Rain of the USS Dignity.
Captain...
Here to save the
Ja, Rain!
galaxy.
Rain! Tehát gondolom, hogy ő, Rain
please
kapitány,
kill
de jól
me
írtam be a
now.
Dignity-t. Így van. Hát nem igazán találtam itt semmit. Jól van, fiú. Akkor ennyi
I should get back
info.
to the investigation.
Okidoki.
Ennyi infónk van. Jó, és tovább. Emlékeim
Alright, I'm off. Peace out, E.
Okidoki. Good luck and see you later.
Jó. Emlékeim szerint itt akkor tényleg mindent elvégeztem. És kapunk új helyszíneket. Ó, jó. Azt mondta Kathy, hogy egyből menjünk a klinikára. De... Tudjátok mit, basszus? Mert értitek, hogy ha elmegyek a klinikára, akkor én meg is csinálom azt a feladatot. Várjátok, hogy mi lesz a feladatunk. Jó. Nézzük meg így. Mert lehet, hogy ez volt a baj. Amikor az XP-s gépen játszottam, és szerintem ugyanúgy nem a klinikára jöttem, hanem az volt a gondolatom, hogy nézzük meg a többi helyszínt. Az új helyszíneket. De azt nem tudom már, hogy ide jöttem. Basszus.
Yep, it's full of trash. Figure that.
Jó, majd kíváncsi leszek.
Yeah, I'm good.
Ja, igen, a figura az ismerős. Ugye?
It's that homeless guy who helped me distract Lenny.
Így van, és nem véletlenül van itt, mert megint ugyanazt a szerepet fogja betölteni.
We meet again, Mr. Homeless Guy.
Homeless? That's the worst thing I ever heard of, and totally untrue.
So, what's up with the trash can? Digging for treasure?
Well, I'm just going through a rough patch. By the way, you owe me $10.
Nah, you agreed to 7.
You're busting my balls here.
Better get those balls checked out in this clinic then.
So cold. Like a stake through the heart.
What do they call you anyway?
Gober. Everyone calls me Gober.
Alright, I'm Kathy.
Pleasure to meet you.
So, what's your story anyway?
Jó, hosszú
My
lesz.
story?
Yeah, don't all bums have a story?
For your information, this is all just a dry streak in my showbiz career.
Is that so? I don't recognize you at all.
I used to have more hair.
That I actually believe.
Come on, man. Frankie Gold is my stage name. Surely you must have heard of me.
Not really, no.
Oh, come on.
Volt
I've
ilyen?
starred in dozens of Hollywood movies. The Silence of the Lambert, Jacob's Bladder, Usual
Kíváncsiképpen beírom.
Surprises, Natural Bald Killers.
Not ringing any bells.
Kids these days, no appreciation for quality cinema. Breaks my heart.
Hát... Nem igazán. Minden, semmit. Vannak találatok, de nem az, amire én számítottam. Oké. Nem mindenben kell kakuktojást keresni.
Tell me about the silence of Lambert.
Lawrence Lambert, a real estate agent, suddenly turns mute overnight. For weeks, he tries to communicate with customers using a self-invented sign language, only to realize that true love needs no communication at all.
Bárányok hallgatnak.
Only knows 2 words in English, yes and clean. In the end, Lawrence dies of a heart attack in the arms of his lovely wife, Consuelo Lambert Vasquez. Based on a true story.
Jó. Egyrészt, hogy most mi ugye viccből olvassuk el ezeket, de hogy tovább tudjatok menni a játékban, ezeket kötelezően meg kell nézni. De igen, majd meglátjátok azt, hogy ez szerintem ez eddig a legnehezebb feladvány. Tehát én erre nem jöttem volna rá.
Jacob's Bladder. The tragic story of Jacob Cobb, a schizophrenic man who forms an imaginary romantic relationship with his bladder. During long and joyful monologues on the can, he starts referring to his nether regions by the name of Jenny. Sadly, before Jacob has a chance to elope with his sweetheart, he gets committed to an asylum due to increasingly erratic behavior. After a big fight with his paramour, Jacob refuses to pee for a week and he dies from a rupture.
Annyira hülye. Jó. Ez lesz a miénk.
Give me the rundown on the usual surprises.
A lighthearted comedy taking place during the surprise birthday party of 34-year-old Sid McBacon. The story is told from 8 different perspectives to keep the audience guessing who the protagonist actually is. The movie ends with the biggest surprise of them all. Sid suddenly dies of an epileptic seizure. I guess it's more of a dark comedy.
Okay.
Natural bald killers?
It's a dystopian vision of the future where people are valued by the quality of their hair. The protagonist, Eddie Zephyr, turns bald in high school. One day, he has simply had enough of all the teasing and the bullying, and he completely snaps and heads out on a scalping spree in search of the perfect head of hair. Eddie makes his way to Mexico for an illegal hair transplant. However, he has an adverse reaction to the anesthesia and he dies on the operating table.
Jó.
Oh, never mind.
Jaj, várjatok, ott volt, hogy még egy bejött. Vár pillanat.
So, tell me
what about it?
Skippeljük át.
Why do you always die at the end of your movies?
Na, hallgassuk meg.
Typecasting.
Ennyi, rövid volt.
Oh, never mind.
Not the cultured type. I understand.
I need to ask you a few questions.
Sounds serious. Ask away.
Ő fog tudni a legkevesebbet segíteni, de menjünk végig.
Do you know what happened to Joseph Rain in 81?
Hiszen végigmentem rajta én is.
What? Tell me.
Are you sure you want to know? Not everyone can handle the truth.
Oh, just spit it out.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Abducted by aliens.
I should have known better.
Oh, I saw it, man. A big, huge light. I was a bit drunk at the time, but I had my reasons. My wife had just left me, taking the dog, not to mention I was being conscripted for the war. But I'm telling you, those goddamn aliens took him and they experimented on him. And that's why he was so messed up when they put him back.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop you there.
Open your mind, man!
Do you know who Lily Myers was?
Yep, my dad was the one who found her floating in the lake.
Really? What can you tell me about her?
Ah, geez, not a lot. I mean, teenage girls, man, they're like their own species. Impossible to figure out. Not to mention how that entire family ain't, like, people-friendly.
Now that's an understatement. Nearly started brawling with Sue the first time I met her.
She could sure deal out a mean whooping, that lady.
Again?
Do you recognize the nickname Cocky?
Why, I used to call myself that back in Nam. Oh, how I miss that marvelous youthful ego of mine.
Why do I even bother? Do you know who Charles Wade is?
Sure, he's been holed up in this clinic for the last couple of weeks.
You saw Charles Wade go in there?
Well, yeah, I just told you, man.
How did he look?
Okay, I guess. Still walking, at least.
De az a helyzet, hogy ugye annélkül nem kapjuk meg ezt az új helyszínt, hogy ne beszéltünk volna ugye Erikával. És igazából ez most lényegtelen, amit mondott nekünk. Hiszen tudjuk, hogy itt van.
Nothing but hearsay. People say it was pretty deranged.
Okay.
What's your opinion on the Church of the Holy Trinity?
I'd say they're good people. Isaac, the priest, is anyway. His dad, Father Bill, on the other hand, though, he and the people he had around him were into some weird shit.
Na, azért van...
What kind of
van
weird
érdekes
shit?
info.
I don't know, they were like a cult or something, with Billy Praise himself at the top. Really shifty bunch of folks. Isaac turned it all around when his dad kicked the bucket, made it a proper church.
Interesting. Do you know anyone else who was involved in the old church?
Not really. I tried to stay as far away from those people as possible. Ask Isaac about it. He's a friendly guy.
All right. I might do that.
Ja. Jó, azért igen, van nála info.
Do you know anything about this flower?
It's red?
Enlightening. Do you know what this is?
Chinese fireworks, of course. I grew up in Shanghai. I know what I'm talking about. They used to call me Dong Pai, meaning round-eyed baldy. Those were some rough years. I miss the food, not to mention the women. Got 2 kids down there now, Mei Lin and little Ping.
Time to hit the off switch now, buddy. I don't need to.
Okay, szerencsére.
Do you know what this key opens?
Your heart, mademoiselle?
Oh, brother.
Hát nem. Okay.
Do you recognize
Na talán ez?
That's your granddad, right?
Yeah. What about the other 2?
No idea. I think my face blindness is acting up again.
Arcvakság.
Okay.
Hülye. Nem kell, esetleg ezt, nem, jó, esetleg. Jó, oké, bocs, ezt nem kellett volna, így van. Jó, akkor vele végeztünk szerencsére. Itt tovább lehet menni.
Okay, I'm off.
Bye.
Tovább lehet menni, de nincs ott semmi, jó? Most egyből ide bemegyünk. Oké, gyorsan megnézzük a környezetet. 91-95 van már, ugye? Nem is értem.
No thanks. Women's magazines make my brain melt.
Oké. Na és a feladat ugye az... Mivel nem tudunk fölmenni az emeletre.
No point. I wouldn't even know what room to go to.
Ezért ugye ezt az infót meg kell szerezni.
Rows and columns of files. Probably easier to use the computer if I need to do some digging.
Jó.
I can't read it from here.
Oké.
A computer. They likely keep records of their patients on it.
Hozzá kell férnünk a számítógéphez.
Pretty sure she would have...
Jó, na és okos gyerekek.
She looks bored out of her mind. Pretty understandable, to be honest.
Ó, mi vártuk, még van egy...
Smoking allowed. Guess this place is a bit behind on healthcare regulations.
De igazából ennek nincs szerepe.
Excuse me, nurse? Hey, nurse!
Ó, basszus, elkezdtem ásítozni.
Yeah? They don't pay you much,
teljesen mindegy, mit kérdezünk tőle.
No shit. What do you want?
Beszélünk.
I'm here to see Charles Wade.
Never heard of him. Anything else?
Bullshit. I know he's here. Listen, it's okay. I'm a friend of the family.
No, you're not, and I said he's not here. Don't make me call security.
Okay.
What a bitch. I need to get rid of her somehow.
No, fiúk. Igen, és ez a feladat. Ugye, nagyon könnyű volt kitalálni, hogy azért van itt a csavargónk, Goober, hogy megint őt felhasználva jussunk be valahogy. De...
Hey, doofus.
Nem egyszerű rájönni, hogy pontosan mit kell csinálni. Oké. Itt megjelenik ugye egy új lehetőség.
So,
tehát, hogy
how good an actor are you?
Az oké, hogy itt fölkínálja ezeket a lehetőségeket.
You know, That nurse in there, she said she loved you in all those movies, and that she always wished you'd give her a live performance.
I know it.
És ennek néztem utána, ezt itt nem jutottam túl.
I thought it was contempt, but her face must just be cramping up from shyness.
Yeah, that's definitely it. She'd love to see you act, I'm sure.
I'm gonna have to oblige. Which movie do you think she'd like the best?
Oké. És akkor az a lényeg, hogy ez a nyerő, a mindennapi meglepetések, de nem elég csak ezt mondanunk neki, hogy ezt ott úgymond játsza el, értitek? Mint egy ilyen kis lelkes színészként. Hanem még valamit tennünk is kell, és azért mondtam, hogy ott a végén van, hogy ilyen rosszul lesz a végén, meg meghal a végén, és most kell használnunk a sokkolót. Na, tehát.
How about the usual surprises?
És hogyha ezt a kettőt nem kombináljuk, akkor nem lesz jó. Tehát hiába küldjük be Gubert, választunk ki bármelyiket is, választjuk ki bármelyiket is, nem lesz jó.
You know why, what's that smell? Bacon? Oh, Bobby, my head hurts. I'm seizing.
Ez az. És akkor már mehet is.
Nurse, he's seizing.
Oh shit.
Tehát ugye össze kell párosítani a megfelelő előadást ugye a sokkolóval.
Man, I feel like a total jackass. I'll have to make it up to the poor guy later.
Oké. Na és akkor tájékoztató tábla. Itt már amúgy már egyszerű volt. Mondom, ezt nem gondoltam volna. Carlita Mendez, tehát C. Mendez lesz a felhasználó név, és ugye meg kell tudnunk a jelszavát. Emlékeztek erre a floppy lemez? Ugye ez a floppy lemez? Igen. Emlékeztek erre a floppy lemezre? Amit ugye a hackertől kaptunk. Bebootulunk, mindegy, a floppy lemez segítségével és admin jelszó kivonással. Ja, igen, jó, és akkor itt meg is kapjuk a felhasználó nevet is. Oké, jó. De amúgy ott is rá lehetett volna jönni. Otor Gador. Jegyezzük meg. Otor Gador. Remélem jó lesz, ez a szuper. Jaj, basszus, oké, elfelejtettem megnézni, hogy van Charles Wade. Basszus, remélem jól emlékszem a nevére. Ez az, jó, oké. Charles Wade, oké. Basszus, ezt meg kellett volna nézni, mert hogyha... Tehát lehet, hogy nem emlékeztem volna jól a nevére. Mindegy, szerencse volt, oké. Charles Wade, születés 1924, 8-14, halál nincs adat, tehát nem halt meg. 1995, 8-24. Doktor, a Friedman beutalója, St. Francis egészségügyi központ, KC. A beteg sikeres szívműtéten esett át, és saját kérésére került ebbe az intézménybe. A kezdeti prognózis jónak tűnik, és a beteg valószínűleg 6-8 héten belül teljesen felépül. Oké, ennyi. Ja, igen, szoba, 6B. De ha jól tudom, ezt nem kell megegyeznünk. Oké, és akkor emelet. Mondom, ez már egyszerű volt, csak az a hülye nővérelterelés az volt nehéz, szerintem legalábbis. Oké, Charles Wade kiesett.
It's all right, Claude. Understood, sir.
Ez is jó hosszú lesz.
So, you managed to find me.
I did.
Well, let's get this over with then. How do you want your pictures? Shall I get some tubes to fill my face with?
Egy órán belül biztos, hogy nem végzünk.
Suffice for your front page?
I'm no journalist. Well, not yet anyway.
Ah, she's but a cub. So, you're hoping for your big break. Surely this must be worth an internship at one of the big papers. Do you want me to call Thompson at the Times and get it over with? I still play golf with him every once in a while.
Basszus, kezdek bambulni. Oké, felső.
That's not what this is about. It's personal.
Azt hiszi, hogy újságírók vagyunk.
Perhaps I should ask Claude to produce his gun.
You know, Charles, the person most likely to be harmed by a gun tends to be its owner.
Very true. That's something that Japs who captured me learned the hard way.
Did my grandfather bail you out then too, or was that one of the few times where he didn't save your sorry ass?
Hold on there. Explain yourself.
You're willing to listen to something other than your own voice? I'm stunned. I'm Kathy Rain. Joseph was my grandfather.
Now I remember.
Így van.
You were at the funeral.
I was.
You were late.
I needed my morning smoke. Besides, it's not like Grandpa was going anywhere.
Oh, just look at her, Claude. She's absolutely fearless. That's Joseph's blood running through her veins.
She certainly has a smart mouth, sir.
I must say, you have me intrigued, Kathy. What can this old man help you with?
No. Haladjunk, fiúk.
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in 81?
I wish I did, Kathy. You must know I did everything in my power to help. How do you think Mary Elizabeth could afford all that expensive treatment? MRIs, neurologists, say what you will about Joseph. But he was never rich.
Strange. Grandma never mentioned that to me.
She's just too proud. At first she refused. She was convinced that I had an agenda, that there were strings attached.
And were there?
Don't be silly. Despite all that had happened, I still loved Joseph dearly. I wanted to help. People from places like this have a deeply rooted mistrust in the rich, passed on for generations. In her eyes, I had become one of them.
So that's all you know about the whole affair?
Are you implying that there's more to know? I left the diagnosis to the professionals. Mrs. Rain accepted the health care, but asked me to stay out of everything else. So I did.
I see. What can you tell me about your friendship with Grandpa?
Joseph was the best friend I ever had. We grew up together, married our high school sweethearts together, went to war together. I can't even begin to count the number of times he's saved my life. I repaid the favor once or twice, but he came up ahead, no doubt.
So, when did you two lose touch? I heard that something happened between you and him. What was it?
The truth is, Brian Rain happened. Sharon Evans happened.
My parents?
Yes. They ruined everything.
Érdekes.
Vile, destructive.
Most nem mondok semmit,
I
de
couldn't have that around my
érdekes.
daughter or my newborn grandson. Joseph was naive. He believed that anyone could be helped, that anyone could be reasoned with, given a chance. He was just too good, bless him. He should have been harder on Brian, more strict.
Igen. Én azért tamáskodom egy picit, meg itt húzom a számat, mert majd ugye pont annál a résznél, ahol majd, ahova el akarok érni, ott majd más info lesz. Érts egyet vele a szigorú szeretetről. Szerintem Katie nem olyan. Mondd meg neki, hogy nagyapa nem. Legyen ő.
It's hardly Grandpa's fault. He did everything he could to set my father straight.
Oh, I never claimed to doubt Joseph's commitment, but I'm not going to ignore his flaws.
Itt tudunk meg ugye több infót.
Your grandfather often used his heart when he should have used his head.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
I believe it is, objectively. But I shouldn't speak ill of the dead. Eventually, my company grew much too large for this little town, and we moved on. Not long after that, your grandfather ended up in that wheelchair. That marked the end of our friendship, for obvious reasons.
Okay.
You bought a number of paintings by Lily Myers. Why?
I'm known to dabble in art from time to time. Martha, my wife at the time, was enamored with the paintings. I believe she first saw them at the high school which the Myers girl attended. Anyway, after the poor girl killed herself, I bought the paintings speculatively. When a young artist with any talent to speak of commits suicide, it can be a wet dream of certain connoisseurs.
Tehát ugye, ha jól értem, akkor ő csak nyerészkedésből vette meg a
that the value was 3 times the amount I bought it for. Today I'm sure I would have made my money back tenfold or more if it wasn't for the art theft.
What art theft?
There was a burglary at the mansion I used to own here in town. It was all over the local news at the time.
Well, shit.
Eloquently put.
Okay.
Do you recognize the call sign Cocky?
Would be strange if I didn't, since I was the one who coined it. It belongs to a fellow named Jimmy Cochran. He was a coward, really. The nickname is somewhat of a bad joke.
Perfect. Thanks.
Okay. Erre is
Tell me about
rákérdezünk.
Jimmy Cochran. Is he still alive?
In a literal sense. He's been held in a mental institution for years.
Let me guess. Since 81?
Either 82 or 83. I'm fairly certain it was early 83.
Do you remember the name of the institution?
Something starting with an E. Emerson, Everton, or similar.
Ingstrom? Ingstrom Psychiatric Hospital?
Yes, that's
Ugye ott van a
You know the place, Kathy.
anyja. Igen.
I do. My mother is in there. Sharon Evans? I had her committed about a year ago.
I see. It must have taken a lot of courage to do that, Kathy. Mothers have a lot of power over us. More than most of us care to admit.
I guess so. Do you know why Jimmy ended up in there?
Some obsessive-compulsive syndrome. He became fixated with circles and started hurting himself, trying to scratch the circles out of his head.
Creepy. I wonder what set him off. I think I'll check the place out tomorrow. Too late to head back to the city now. Can you tell me about the art theft?
Well, somebody broke in, stole the paintings, and got out. Fairly clumsy job. Lots of broken windows. The strangest thing was that I had a Monet, a Rembrandt, and 2 paintings by Picasso, untouched. But every single painting by an unknown local artist, gone.
That can't be a coincidence.
Agreed. Somebody wanted those paintings badly.
I assume there was an investigation.
Yes, Sheriff Truman came by with his deputy a few hours later, but they didn't have much luck.
Akkor még volt
They
Truman
found a
Sheriff?
few hairs, which turned out to be from Ruffles, the family dog.
Some stunning police work right there.
Indeed. There was a single witness, though, who said he could make out multiple burglars leaving the scene of the crime, but nothing more than that.
So, I take it the case was closed?
Yes. I honestly didn't care much one way or the other, given the fact that my most expensive pieces were safe and sound.
I think I'll have a chat with the sheriff about the matter, if that's okay with you.
Certainly. I'll call ahead and instruct him to give you everything you need.
That'd be great. Thanks, Charles.
Anytime. But I'm curious, what's your interest in the paintings?
I've learned that my grandfather went to Sue and asked to see them, right before he had his injury.
Is that so? Strange.
Okay.
What can you tell me about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
They seem like any other church to me. But then again, I'm not their usual clientele. Weddings, baptisms, and funerals are just about what I can muster. And I always leave early.
Okay.
Do you know what this is?
A flower? Why don't you consult a botanist instead of bothering me with this nonsense?
What do you see in this picture, Charles?
Fireflies would be my best guess. They can grow terribly large around these parts.
Igen, valószínű. Oké. Végig mehetünk rajta, így van.
Do you know what this key opens?
You must be truly desperate if you
Itt meglepődtem, hogy még ő sem mond semmi infót erről a kulcsról.
Do you recognize this, Charles?
Of course. Your grandfather, me, Jimmy Cochran. Taken shortly before we went to the war.
You guys look like you just won the lottery or something.
Indeed. We were mere children, with no concept of what we were getting into.
I don't need to...
Okay.
I don't need...
Okay.
I don't need to show...
Okay.
He's being cooperative at the moment. I shouldn't push my luck.
Jó, okay. Jól van, fiúk, hát akkor így ennyi.
Thanks, Charles. That's all I need for now.
You're welcome, Kathy. Come back anytime.
Jó, és akkor...
A private phone. Wade must get special privileges here. Just some boring landscape paintings.
Így van, nem is foglalkozunk vele.
Wade brought some of his old tunes with him. That guy is huge. I wonder how many cows he eats per day.
Feled biztos.
I'd rather not. He'd crush me like a twig.
Oké. Szerintem itt már semmi nincs. Ágy alatt semmi. Oké, mehetünk. Ó, basszus, kulcs. Azt a büdös mindent. Gyerekek, 46 perc van. Azt a mindenit. Ez így nem lesz jó. Szerintem most ez szűk 1 óra lesz. Most szűk 1 óra lesz. Oké, menjünk most erre. Lássátok azt, hogy tényleg nincs itt semmi extra. Legalábbis egyelőre. Oké, és akkor... menjünk ide.
Well, this is it. This is where the picture was taken. I'm not sure what I expected to find here. I need to clear my head. What the?
We've met before, haven't we?
Itt meglepődtem egy picit. Oké, vagyis hát itt is. Oké, nem egyszerűen. Nem emlékezem, hátbonzongató, cirkusz. Mr. Clean. Tök mindegy szerintem.
Just no. I'd remember a creepy bald dude with makeup.
Memories can deceive, Kathy. Dig deeper.
Who are you? How do you know my name?
Legfélelmetes.
You told me, remember?
I feel strange. Am I dreaming?
It's the mending. I will try to facilitate.
You're not real. I'm lying asleep in my bed right now.
Focus, Kathy. Listen to the drowned girl.
You mean Lily? What about her?
She's the anomaly, the missing refrain, the convergence point of things past.
Múltbéli dolgok, és még meg nem történt események.
Dial down the metaphors a notch, would you, Mr. Kafka? I get enough of that shit in English class.
I knew you wouldn't disappoint. I'm glad, given how much trouble I went through to be here. You see, my name was taken from me, so I claimed the color instead. The next time you'll know the exact hue of red. You're on the right path, Kathy. Follow your grandfather, and everything will work out in the end.
Mi lesz ebből? És hops! Itt vagyunk.
Wait, what? How did I get here? Am I going crazy? Am I turning into Mom?
Ja. Kurva élet. Menjünk vissza. Ide. Aha.
Hello?
Így van. Ez most más.
Creepy bald guy. Guess no one's home.
Most máshogy csináltam, mint amikor XP-n játszottam vele. Papírdarab.
That wasn't here before.
Így van. Tudom, hogy micsoda. Tudom,
What's
hogy
this?
mi az. Most fel vagy cseréltem a helyszín... hát ahogy látogattam a helyszíneket.
A bald man dressed in red. Oh, creepy. A bald man...
Jó. Ez meg most üres.
Why did someone leave this at the nature reserve?
Ki fog majd derülni. Oké. A virág.
Looks like a specimen of the red scythe. It's endangered. I'm not gonna take it without a really good reason.
Így van. Jó, és emlékeim szerint nincs itt semmi. Illetve annyi, hogy itt is kimehetünk. Ezen az oldalon. És akkor menjünk a templomhoz.
Hello, Father.
Okay.
Greetings, my child. I'm glad you decided to come here.
Yeah, but just so you know, I'm not here to join your church or anything.
Oh, I would never assume that.
Good. So, with that out of the way, I have some questions.
Anything you need. I'm Isaac Price.
Kathy.
Igen.
Kathy Rain, but I'm guessing you figured that out already.
Emlékeztek a
Rumors spread
temetőben a kriptára?
So how can I be
Price.
of service?
Oké.
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in 81?
It was the work of the devil, I'll say that much. Joseph was a kind man. He did not deserve such a...
Láthatjuk, tehát, hogy
You heard my speech.
mindenki más, hogy beszél róla, hát nem mindenki.
Who did much good for this community.
Tehát valaki jót mond róla, valaki meg rosszat.
In a way, he and my father did charity work together. Joseph was around a lot when I was young. They collaborated
ugye
on a
volt
few
szó valami
different projects for the
szektáról is.
homeless and for the troubled youth, among other things.
So my grandfather was a member of the church?
I wouldn't say that, no. He was a friend of the church, but he wasn't a religious man. He believed only in philanthropy. That being said, Joseph was the person who convinced me to become a priest.
Really?
Oh yes, I was a teenager back then, full of rebellion, every fiber of my being wanting to distance myself from my father. Joseph made me realize my sinful pride, and showed me how I should follow my heart, regardless of what others might think. And for that, I'm eternally grateful.
Filantrópia, nem elfelejtettem, az önzetlenség egy formája. Oké, így van. Közjóért cselekszik. Jó, menjünk tovább.
Does the name Lily Myers mean anything to you?
It does. I was a substitute teacher in her high school for some time. before I
Oh,
was
baby.
ordained.
Oh, baby.
Really? Did you know her personally?
We weren't close. I only knew her as much as a teacher would know any student.
All right, so how did she seem toward the end?
For one, she started skipping school a lot. And when she did show up, she was absent-minded and moody. She always looked depressed and hunched down like she had a whole world on her shoulders.
Any idea of what caused this change?
Not a clue. All I know is that when she returned from that last summer break, she was a whole different person.
Nyári szünetről... Nem valami táborba volt? Oké.
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
I don't recognize that name,
Igen,
no.
gondoltam.
Do you know anything about an art theft at the Wade estate in the 80s?
I have just a vague memory of reading about it in the paper.
Care to tell me the history of the church?
Na, az érdekes lesz.
I'd be happy to. The story is a fascinating one. This church was founded by my father, William T. Price, in the 70s. Back then, he made his living as a traveling salesman and was driving through this area as he'd done so many times before. However, this day was different. My father held dark thoughts in his mind. He was angry, thinking of evil deeds, even considering swerving off the road into a rock and ending it all. Then suddenly, divine intervention. 3 bright lights appeared. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, the sign of God. This epiphany was the moment my father had been waiting for. He sold all of his belongings and took me and my brother to live with him here in Conwell Springs. Soon thereafter, he built this church and started gathering followers. They began to refer to him as Father Bill.
I take it that window up there resembles what he saw when he had this epiphany?
Indeed. The stained glass window depicts the Holy Trinity as witnessed by my father.
Do you know exactly when or where this event took place?
Why do you ask?
Oh, just curious. It's a captivating story.
Well, it was in the spring of 1971, but my father never told anyone when.
71?
Okay, so what happened then?
People flocked to Father Bill. He started teaching, writing scripture. The church flourished and continued to grow all the way up until his sudden death in 1983.
83, ugye 81-ben volt a
take
baleset.
leadership of the church.
I take it that the church started declining after the death of Father Bill?
Yes, naturally so. With such a magnetic personality, he was irreplaceable. But I assure you the church is still very much thriving.
Looks kind of empty.
Körbenézett.
It's not really our peak hours.
What's up with you handing out pamphlets at funerals then? Trying to reel people in at a weak moment?
I'm going to assume you meant no disrespect, child. I'm simply providing divine guidance when it's needed the most.
Oké, na, hát akkor ezzel
I
haladjunk.
don't need to show him that.
Oké.
Father, do you know anything about this flower?
No, my child. Nothing at all.
Az érdekes volt, hogy picit így várt volna egy picit.
I could, but I think I have. I'll keep it to myself for now until I know more about this church.
Oké. Hát ezt nem hiszem, így van. Talán ez.
This key opens.
I'm afraid not, my child.
Megint egy picit várt, ugye?
Do you recognize the men in this picture, Isaac?
Only your grandfather, and that's just because I was given a similar picture for the service the other day.
Hogy... Csak azért? Nem arról beszélt, hogy a... Nagyon mindegy, valamit kamuzik a csávó.
I already showed him that.
Kurva élet. Tehát, hogy nem arról beszélt, hogy a nagyapja és az ő apja az ugye együtt dolgoz, tehát hogy ismerte, nem? Nem jó mindegy.
I don't need to show him that. I don't need to.
Oké.
I sincerely doubt it will come to that.
Pedig miért ne? Oké, fiúk.
That's all I need for now, Father.
May the Lord shine his light on you.
Could lead to a sacristy or a closet of some kind.
Nem jó a kulcs, tehát ugye zárva van. Nem jó a kulcs. Tehát kipróbáltam, nem jó. A másik oldal szintén, detto. Tehát kipróbáltam.
It's an altar. You know, the place where they put the sacrificed goats, kids, and other crap.
Igen, nagyon fontos
Impressive
dolgunk
window.
van.
There's no doubt about it. Those are the smoky lights.
Voltál. Ezt alig vettem
A
észre.
bunch of red Bibles stacked.
Azt hittem, hogy valami kárpit.
I really shouldn't. They might burn.
De miért nem? Hát elvehetnéd nyugodtan. Oké. Szerintem nincs is más. Festett üvegbe, alak oltár. Oké. Mehetünk. 59 van. Tehát voltunk itt. Menjünk ide-vissza, mert ezt tudom, hogy ott találjuk meg a rajznak a másik felét. Azért mondtam, hogy azt tudtam. Ugye még bőven basszus, még hátra van egy csomó, mire odáig eljutok. Még bőven, gyerekek. Azért mondom, hogy most szerintem szünet, tehát hogy tartok egy kis szünetet, és jövök vissza. Hány óra van? Basszus kulcs. Hát egész napom ráment. Ide be.
Oh, it's you again. Come on in.
Ja, és akkor majd mehetünk majd a nagyihoz is. A rendőrség. Hú, basszus kulcs. Aha.
No Nathan today?
Nah, haven't seen Nate all day. Probably out in the woods.
Így van, valószínűleg az erdőben van, és...
That must be Lily. She seems very happy. Is this how Nathan still sees himself? As a little boy?
Hiányzó
The left half
fél.
is torn off. The left half is
De ezt
torn off.
valahogy szerintem össze lehet kombinálni. Mindjárt várjatok. Kombinál. Ez az.
Looks like Nathan knows the strange red man. I need to talk to him about this.
Így van. És én ezt nem csináltam meg szerintem, srácok. Mert nem emlékszem, hogy bele lett volna írva. Tehát nem kombináltam össze a két rajzot, basszus. Ez utána jutott eszembe. Tehát, hogy így most, hogy így kombinálgassak. És nem volt itt. Nem volt itt. A párbeszédeknél a vörös ember. Erre emlékeznék, basszus. Lát, itt. Nincs itt, nem volt ott a vörös ember. Banyák, nem áll, ezt nem csináltam meg. Szerintem semmi baj nem volt az XP-s géppel. Na jó, oké, menjünk.
I don't need to ask her about that.
Jó.
Did you know that somebody stole Lily's paintings from Wade?
Huh? I knew he got robbed a few years back, but I thought he still had them all.
I don't need to ask her about that. Do you know who the red man is?
Oh, that's just Nate's imaginary friend. The red man has been around ever since my
De
boy
ugye
was little.
I see. So there's no
Mi szóba
actual person in
került?
town he could be referring to?
No way! According to Nathan, the red man hasn't changed in 30 years.
Aha, na gyerekek, hát ez is tudja, hogy nem volt. Nem volt, így van. Mondom, jó, akkor erre jól emlékszem.
The red man actually exists.
Ez tudja, hogy nem
I met
volt.
him in the forest.
What? That's crazy.
Ezért nem ment tovább a
Stop
játék.
kidding around. I am not in the mood.
Lehet, hogy azt meg is csinálom, mert megvan még a XP-s gépen a játék, nem töröltem le. Hogy a mentést. Azt most átmásolom. Szerencsére tök egyszerű a játéknak a könyvtár szerkezete. A főkönyvtárban vannak a mentések, kimásolom. Vagyis igen, tehát átmásolom és ennyi. És szerintem jó lesz ez. Ott is. Ezben volt, basszus. Kurva élet. Igen, mert ugye nem fagyott ki a játék, nem következett be az a pont, amit ugye elolvastam a végigjátszást, a magyarításhoz mellékelve, és nem következett be az a mondat Cathy-től, és nem mentünk át arra a helyszínre, hanem ki tudtam menni megint a útra, tehát tudjátok, ahol a helyszíneket tudom kiválasztani, és már nem tudtam visszamenni a másik helyszínre. Majd meglátjátok, csak nem akarom lelőni a poénokat. Na várjatok.
Do you know anything about this flower?
Sure.
Ezt még vigyük végig. Jó, és akkor meg lesz a beszélgetés, és szerintem itt lesz vége
What was it like?
ennek a
Similar to
videónak.
pot, but stronger and more unpredictable. Never touched this stuff after I got pregnant with Lily.
All right.
Marihuana.
Sue, what do you see in this picture?
My God, that looks like one of Lily's paintings.
Wow, really? Can you describe it?
It was in that time scene, just like the photo, but the lights were floating
Most
above the lake.
ez a
There was
festmény,
a pale hand reaching up from beneath the surface, trying to touch them. The forest in the background.
ez
was on
szerintem
fire,
csak sima
making the
nyugtát,
sky purple and
napfelkeltét.
red. There were probably other
ábrázolhatja.
details too, but that's what I can remember.
Sounds captivating. Wish I could have seen it.
Oké.
No
Jó, tudjátok, ez így van.
Do you know what this key opens?
Ezt már mutattam.
Well, that's a bit of a weird
Aha,
question,
szerintem
ain't
ezt
it?
mutattam neki.
But no.
Már voltam, mint ahogy ezt is, így van. Ez?
No reason to
Semmi. Oké.
I think I'm gonna head off now.
Sure thing, little cat. Come back anytime.
Elk, by the looks of it.
Ezek nem
Looks
változnak?
like they barely...
Nem.
It's an early painting by Lily Myers.
Itt is csak ennyi. És akkor a rajz, akkor ez ennyi. De nem kombináltuk össze? Ja, hogy így? Aha. Oké. Aha, jó, oké. Ott van. Jól van, fiúk. Akkor kilépés... basszus, és most vártak, mi is a feladatunk? Most basszus, most elveszettem a fonalat. Ezzel szerintem nem tudok mit kezdeni. A Jimmynek a nyomára kéne rábukkannom. Jimmynek a nyomára kéne rábukkannom. Ja, meg vártok, meg a rendőrségre, igen, oké, megvan. A rendőrségre vissza kell menni, és a betörés. Így van. Oké, srácok. Akkor, hogy ne felejtsem el, mert most tartok egy kis szünetet. Ott hagyom abba, tehát hogy elmegyek a rendőrségre. És ott kell megkérdezni, ugye, a serifet, vagy a csávót a betörésről. Ugye mondta is nekünk a császvét, hogy fölhívja a serifet. Tehát így van. És a szemtanú után kell nyomoznunk. Meg kell tudni, hogy ki volt a szemtanú, gondolom én. Se nem gondolom én, hanem jó, emlékszem rá, így van. Oké, csak most elveszettem egy picit a fonalat. Oké, mentés, és akkor... Szokás szerint visszatörlöm. Jó, és akkor ezt még innen. És akkor csinálunk még egy harmadikat, sőt még valószínűleg egy negyediket is. Ja, de nem így, hanem így. Tehát Zozó 3. Megvan. Oké. Jól van, fiúk. Basszus, az a vörös ember, és az nem jött össze, nem kombináltam össze a két rajzot. Ugye akkor jelent meg. Tehát összekombináltam a két rajzot. Vagyis hát gondolom széttépett rajz volt, vagy én nem tudom. Oké. És nem jelent meg a vörös ember a párbeszédeknél. Szerintem ez volt a baj. Na! De viszont még hátra van, basszus, szerintem még lehet, hogy még egy óra, gyerekek. Mert még ugye meg kell találnunk a szemtanút, tehát én már tudom, hogy ki az, mert mondom, hogy odáig eljutottam. Eljutunk, megkapunk egy új helyszínt, ott is még beszélnünk kell, meg kell szereznünk valamit, hogy tovább jussunk. Ó, basszus, még egy óra. És ez már akkor már több mint, ez már 4,5 óra, bassza meg. Jó bele lehet merülni, amikor az ember így magába játszik, mert akkor ott legalább a plusz 2-3 órát rászámoltam arra, hogy a tökölések. Tudjátok, amikor XP-s gépen játszottam. És így meg lesz akkor durván 4,5 óra. Oké. Srácok, köszöntem szépen a figyelmet. Jók legyetek, vigyázzatok magatokra. Sziasztok!